It's weird. But hello, everyone. It has definitely been a minute since our last severe weather live stream that we've done on this channel. So, I'm going to pull everything up. I was not prepared to stream today. And speaking of which, streaming wise, go away. So, today, there is the risk of they're not tornadoes here, and we actually have a tornado warning in effect here. Alright, so let's go in and read it. So this is National Weather Service in Springfield has issued a tornado warning for northern Jasper County in southwestern Missouri. This is in effect for another 28 minutes. At 10:57 a.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Carl Junction, or 7 miles northwest of Joplin, moving northeast at 65 miles an hour. So the hazard is a tornado. This is a radar indicated rotation. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Northern Joplin, Webb City, Carl Junction, Oronogo. I hope I said that right. Jasper, Airport Drive, Alba, Purcell, Carytown, and Next City. If you guys know anyone who lives in those areas, or if you live in those areas, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Void windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So we're going to zoom in a bit more here. And I'm not really seeing any town names here. Don't know. Can you see how many people are actually using this radar now? That's sick. I didn't know that. So, obviously, as I said, I'm still getting back into the weather side of things. So, recently, as of couple hours ago, or actually, I think it's about an hour ago, the SBC actually upgraded this to a slight risk for today. So today and or tonight, scattered severe gusts are possible through midday across eastern portions of Oklahoma and Kansas into the western parts of Missouri and northwest Arkansas. More broad and isolated risks or damaging gusts and possibly tornado will exist tonight from the Ozark Plateau eastward into the excuse me, low mid Mississippi and lower Ohio valleys. So we do have the first tornado watch of the year here. That's in effect for another 55 minutes. Probabilities for this 30-10. So that's a 30% chance of seeing two or more tornadoes, and a 10% chance of seeing a strong tornado, EF2 to EF5. So overall, they're not expecting much from today. Honestly, I just went live because we haven't been live for a minute. For tomorrow, if I stream tomorrow, which is still up in there. Tomorrow there's a slight risk of severe weather. That includes Birmingham, Baton Rouge, Jackson, Metairie, and Lafayette. It also includes Tuscaloosa. The marginal risk includes Houston, Austin, Memphis, Nashville, and New Orleans. So the complete summary, I'm not going to go over all of this. Excuse me. Should definitely order a water or something. However, the summary, severe thunderstorms are possible on Friday from Louisiana into parts of the Mid-South and Southeast. Doesn't say. Oh, here we go. Early day storms within the modest warm advection regime from East Texas into the lower Mississippi Valley could pose a low probability threat of all severe hazards. Increase in the severe potential could evolve from late afternoon into the evening as low-level and deep layer shear begin to strengthen in response to the approaching trough. Organized clusters and a few supercells will be possible within 10 damaging wind and tornado threat that may continue into the late Friday night. However, if early day convection becomes widespread with increasing prominent outflow, as indicated by some zero-Z HREF members, the magnitude and northeast extent of the organized severe threat may be relatively limited. Greatest relative confidence in organized severe threat is currently across parts of LA into parts of Louisiana into central southern Mississippi, with a more conditional threat to the north and east of this area. So basically, what they're saying is, let me switch back to the radar. All of this that's currently ongoing will be pushing off into the general direction of our day 2 risk, which is, okay, that's a lot of lag. All of this stuff over here, and there will eventually be a tail that forms off. All of this will eventually be pushing towards Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And if all this stuff starts, like, I don't know how to properly say it. I guess, like, weakening that, cooling off the atmosphere, pretty much. If all this cools off the atmosphere, there's a lesser chance of a widespread severe weather event tomorrow. However, we won't know until A, tomorrow when this line of storms moves through, and B, we also won't know how the atmosphere is responding until, like, Jackson, what's this area up here? Oh my gosh, what is that Air Force Base? I know what that Air Force Base is called, I just don't know what it's called. Amory. We won't know until Jackson, Amory, Birmingham, and probably even Montgomery. We won't know how the atmosphere is doing until we get soundings from those areas. However, our tornado warning up here still in effect for another 19 minutes. We did just get a new update on it, so it is still radar indicated. Tornado warning remains in effect until 11:30 Central Standard Time for northern Jasper County. At 11:04 p.m. not PM, jeez. 11:04 a.m. Central Standard Time. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Purcell, or 12 miles northwest of Carthage, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. All this stuff hasn't changed. So, we're going to take a look at this new mesoscale discussion here. So, this is for far northeast Oklahoma, southwest Missouri, and northern Arkansas. This is concerning Tornado Watch number 1, obviously. So, severe threat for Tornado Watch number 1 continues. Squall line is expected to push east-northeast into southwest Missouri and northern Arkansas through early mid-afternoon. Severe wind gusts, perhaps a brief tornado, will be possible. Watch issuance downstream of ongoing Weather Watch 1 is uncertain, but will be considered if trends begin to suggest an increasing severe threat. So right now, they're not certain if they're going to issue a new tornado watch, which is, I believe, this area in yellow here, like this orangish yellow. Honestly, these storms are moving out of that area. Cloud top temperatures and lightning data have shown a steady weakening of the squall line across northeast Oklahoma over the past hour as the band of storms again struggle against diminishing mid-level Cape. However, severe wind gusts, including an 81-mile-an-hour gust near Independence, Kansas, continue to be noted with this line. These winds are primarily being driven by very strong low-level flow wind shear as depicted by KINX, KSRX, and KSGF VWP observations that show 50-knot winds near 1 kilometer ARL. These strong kinematics are expected to persist, if not intensify, through late morning, early afternoon, as the primary upper level wave continues to eject towards the mid-Mississippi Valley and an attendant surface cyclone intensifies. Consequently, even with very meager buoyancy downstream into Arkansas and southern Missouri, mid-level Cape of about 100 to 250 joules per kilogram, severe damaging winds appear probable, and a brief tornado or two may be possible with any deeper convective elements given 300 to 400 meters squared per second squared 0.1 kilometer SRH. That said, it remains unclear how widespread these threats will be, considering the recent weakening trend. It may be conditioned on the quality of moisture return into and north of the Ozark Plateau through mid-afternoon. Trends will continue to be monitored for the need for downstream watch issuance. The most probable tornado peak, 85 to 115 miles an hour. The most probable peak wind gust is 65 to 80 miles an hour. And the information is provided to WeatherWise from the NWS, SPC, and WPC. So let's take a look at our tornado warning here. There's still some broad circulation right there. I can't rewind it, can I? Yeah, but there's certainly some broad circulation there. But I just don't know how much longer that's going to persist. What are you? Your squall line, okay. I'm looking down the squall line to see if I can find any kinks in the line that might indicate a tornado. But especially like down here with this section of line, it's so hard to distinguish anything. Because, as you can see, we don't have radar coverage. The closest radars are Little Rock, KSRX, KTLX, KDFR, KFWS, CAPO, and Shreveport. But there's nothing in this general area that would give us a good depiction. Now, I know several meteorologists, including some YouTube meteorologists like Ryan Hall, all that, have been pushing for eventually getting more radar coverage, mainly out in the western part of the country, especially like in this general area here. Because, as I said, there isn't much radar coverage out in this part of the US. Like, I get, like, over, like, in this area because there's mountains and all that. But in this part of the country, there should be a radar. We shouldn't have radar holes. Now, I will say, there is technically a radar, like, I can't remember where it is. I think it's like right in here, I believe, where there's a radar. However, that isn't public. You have to download an app for it. And our tornado watch, and our tornado warning has ended up being canceled. The NWS didn't see enough rotation with it anymore to think that it was worth being warned. So in turn, they have canceled the warning. Hmm. So with that being said, with this tornado watch probably expiring and a new one not being issued, that's where I will call the stream. Obviously, if I'm not doing anything later, actually, we're going to stay on. There is a bit of rotation here. That's the pro. I don't want to go get signal with. Go back, go to velocity. Circle that. Have that. Storm relative. There's nothing there. Top. Something there. I remain there, but you see, there's nothing there other than that bit of radiation that screams like tornado imminent. However, we're going to say, what are you? New velocity scan should be coming in any minute here, hopefully. So we're just going to stay on for a few minutes, make sure that this guy doesn't do anything. However, I don't think he will. Yeah, I'm sure that the National Weather Service is watching this. Honestly, I think that might be from our old tornado warning. So, that being said, guys, I will log off. As I said, if anything happens, if I'm not doing something, like trying to fix my car, that's going to be fun. Or like doing something else, will be immediately back on. But as of right now, I'm not seeing anything that screams tornado imminent. So that being said, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see about going live for tomorrow's event. Hopefully better than today's. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. What's this? Okay, they just, I think, either updated or reissued that one. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, guys, peace out. Also, potential for a Minecraft stream later today.